Hi, I'm Stephanie Wick, and this is my Module 8 case study. Brief summary of our case. Susan Green is our new special education teacher at a district in Schuyler School District. She is in her first year out of college, and she's replacing a teacher who had been there for 25 years. Carl is a third grade student. His parents have recently been divorced. He's identified as a behavior disordered student, and he's on an IEP. And a behavior management plan that was written by the former SPED teacher. His behavior is escalating, and his teacher feels like he is getting out of control and he's harm to himself and maybe other students. Nancy Taylor is the third grade teacher. She's Carl's teacher. She was a part of Carl's original IEP team. She wants something to be done immediately about Carl and his behavior. Um, a little more about the case. She comes in and she demands that Susan pull him from classes immediately, pull him from the classroom. Susan said that she couldn't do that. She needed to, if she's going to do something like that, she would need to have an IEP meeting and consult with parents and the IEP team. She calls Mrs. Willis, who is the district coordinator of special ed, told her about the situation, and Mrs. Willis is advising her to come up with an intervention system to remove him when he gets out of control. And she recommends that a male teacher may accompany her because Carl is large for his age and may be hard to handle if he needs to be physically restrained. So Susan begins working on a framework for this plan, arranged a meeting with her superintendent, discussed it with the superintendent, and superintendent recommended that she schedule a new IEP meeting to obtain parental approval for the revised plan. When this IEP meeting took place, a few days later, the superintendent could not attend, but the assistant superintendent would attend. At the meeting, both parents came. Our teacher, Nancy Taylor, came. And as the meeting began, Nancy kind of hijacked the meeting and discussed that she was concerned that she was unable to reach the student's intellectual potential. She didn't even bring up the behavioral issues. So what happened is the parents kind of got into an argument during the IEP meeting. Seems like the mom is a little stressed because she's working 50 hours a week trying to support the kids. Dad may or may not be very present in their lives right now. After the meeting, the teacher, Mrs. Taylor, complained that the former person, the former SPED teacher, would just remove troubled kids from the classroom and put them in what's called a detention room with worksheets or workbook, and that was not what Susan was suggesting be done. Okay, category 1, problem identification and analysis. What I know, Carl's behavior has escalated from self-harming to harming his teacher. I also know that Mrs. Taylor feels unable to deal with his behaviors, and she is going to the resource room on a regular basis to talk to our special ed teacher about this and trying to demand removal from her classroom. She thinks that he should be removed from the classroom and basically put in a resource room all the time. What I need to know about this is his newly escalated behavior a result of family issues, the divorce, mom and dad fighting, or is there something else going on? Is Carl truly a risk to harm other children in the classroom, and is he distracting them to the point that they are unable to learn? Does Mrs. Taylor also have a legitimate reason to fear Carl, which would warrant his removal from her classroom? Category 2, plan of action and strategies for implementation. In my plan of action, I've come up with a few different things. First and foremost, I'd like to develop an incentive system for Carl. Let's reward his positive behavior instead of always punishing bad behavior. This would maximize the positive, minimize the negative. Something like this could be implemented with a pair of support in the classroom. Having that extra person in the classroom would not only maybe help Carl, but it could also help other students and our teacher who is overwhelmed by Carl's behavior. This is also someone else that could do some observations and help determine what factors may be leading to his behavior issues, what's escalating him. I would also recommend counseling for Carl. In the summary of our case, it said that his older siblings were receiving counseling services through their school. I think this is something that Carl would need also. Carl's unable to identify why he's so mad and why he's lashing out, and maybe counseling would be a good step in the right direction to help him figure that out. Also, I'm implementing school-wide support. Let's have some training for teachers and paras for students with behavioral issues. Discuss sometimes the causes and consequences of these issues. Also, school-wide behavioral management system implemented like champs or zones would allow things to be kept consistent from class to class and from grade level to grade level. Thus, students like Carl would know what's expected of them no matter where they're at in the building. Category 3 resolution. What's best for students? I feel like implementation of para support in the classroom is one thing that is definitely best for students. It's going to provide that additional support for every student and also give the teacher additional support in the classroom. They might be able to kind of get a feel for when Carl's behavior is escalating and come up with a way to remove him from the classroom. I also think it's essential to have the modified behavior plan for Carl. Let's reward his positive behaviors and document those along with documenting the inappropriate behaviors. Come up with an incentive plan to keep him from disrupting class. Maybe he has a plan in place that he goes 3 days without a disruption and he earns some kind of special incentive for that. It might be necessary to have a functional behavioral analysis done on Carl to help determine what triggers his behavior, since he is unable to verbalize what is causing these behaviors and why he is so stressed. Removal from classroom on certain occasions is also what's best for students. If his behavior escalates and is out of control, he does need to be removed from the classroom so other students are not distracted and can continue to learn. That we need to provide a safe space for Carl to cool down and regroup. And we need some nonverbal signals if Carl knows he needs to leave the room. So maybe he feels himself losing control. We need to teach him how to signal a para or a teacher that he does need to leave the classroom before he gets to that point. Category 4, debriefing the problem. Reflection on what I was thinking, feeling, and valuing. First and foremost, I was very frustrated with all of the adults involved in this case. Everyone seems to be more concerned with himself or herself instead of the child. The teacher demanding immediate removal of the child from her classroom. That's not what we want to do. We need to try to have inclusion for him, and he needs to be in the least restrictive environment, if at all possible. The parents frustrate me in this situation because mom is working 50 hours a week to try to make a living and provide for children. Dad, from what we've been told, has been pretty absent in his life and not spending time with them. Not all people in this case seem to have his best interests at heart. And as educators and parents, that's what we're there for, is to always make sure our children are taken care of. I also question the teacher's method. Calling for immediate removal of the student is not the solution that you go to first. I would also question how she responded during the IEP meeting and talk to the parents about not being able to meet Carl's intellectual needs. That didn't seem to be the issue. His behavioral problems are the issue, and that's what the meeting should have been about, not his intellectual needs. I was very pleased with how the new SPED teacher handled things. She seems to have the child's best interest at heart. She was trying to keep him in the least restrictive environment and not pull him out based on the teacher's request. She also went through the proper chain of command. She contacted her superintendent, also talked to the SPED coordinator for the districts to get some input and see what the next step would be. Another reflection I had on this really reminded me of a very similar situation in my previous school district, to where we had a few different children that had these kind of issues and were not always handled in the proper manner by teachers. Debriefing the problem continued. What issues are still unresolved? Well, first, we don't know what Carl's well-being at home is like. If mom is truly working 40 to 50 hours a week, is anybody there with Carl? Does he need some sort of guidance at home? Um, does he need counseling? Does he need therapy? Is the behavior plan working? Was the teacher in the classroom actually implementing his behavior plan that is in his IEP? Well, we need more information about that before we determine whether that plan was working or not. Is his teacher treating him fairly through his IEP? Also, we also need to figure out what Carl's triggers are. What is it that's setting him off? Because some days he probably comes to school and does fine, and then something snaps and he changes. Reflection on standard 2, promoting the academic success of every student. What I'm doing to try to promote the academic success of every student is to have Carl in the least restrictive environment possible. Um, this is important for his effective learning. He also needs to be pulled out of class when behavior is uncontrollable because at that point he is a distraction to all other classmates and that needs to be stopped. He also needs para support in the classroom. This would provide support for not only Carl, but also other students when maybe Carl is starting to get disruptive. Either the para can take care of Carl or she can work with the other students while the teacher handles the issue at hand. Promoting the personal well-being of every student. Kind of the same information. I think maybe a behavior chart and functional behavioral analysis for Carl would help determine our root causes, and maybe fixing or coming up with our root causes would help us come up with a solution that would not only help Carl but also his classmates. Carl's personal well-being would be in the least restrictive environment. He needs to be able to be around his peers and not be isolated all day long. And again, he does need to be pulled out of class when his behavior is uncontrollable, which promotes the well-being of all students, including Carl and his classmates. Um, Enhancing instructional capacity. I think as an administrator, I would have to add professional development opportunities for paras and teachers on behavioral issues. Um, they may need additional training. Maybe they don't have enough training to work with a student such as Carl at this point. I think it's also important to implement a school-wide behavior plan, CHAMPS or zones or something like that, to provide consistency for all students from classroom to classroom. This would also help Carl when he transitions between his traditional classroom to maybe music or PE or something like that. Also, ensure all staff handles Carl in the same manner, i.e. the classroom teacher, the resource room teacher, PE, music, etc. They all need to be familiar with his IEP. They all need to know what his behavior plan entails, and they all need to do it consistently and in the same manner. Thank you for watching my case. I appreciate it.